October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and over the past 2 years, breast cancer screening has dropped after the pandemic closed facilities and upended women's schedules and access to mammography. Former Today Show anchor Katie Couric says that is what delayed her mammogram and a breast cancer ultrasound by 6 months. So she recently revealed that after getting that critical screening late, she was diagnosed with breast cancer, later had a lumpectomy and 15 days of radiation, and is now on aromatase inhibitor therapy. Speaking this morning to Hoda Kotb and Savannah Guthrie on the Today Show, Katie emphasized how important it is for women with dense breasts to be screened regularly for cancer. Please watch.
45 to 50% of women in this country have what are considered dense breasts. This is not something you can tell by feeling your breasts. If your breasts are lumpy, it doesn't necessarily mean you have dense breasts. It's indicated on a mammogram. So you have to ask your radiologist, or your radiologist ideally should be telling you you have dense breasts. And then you often need secondary screening. So my radiologist compared it to trying to find snowballs in a field of snow. I got a 3D mammogram, which is definitely superior to standard mammograms. And my breast radiologist, Susan Drossman, said made it much easier for her to see it. But it was key to get a breast ultrasound to confirm that I had a tumor that needed to be biopsied. And a lot of women don't know this. 38 states require doctors to say, hey, Hoda, you have dense breasts, but your mammogram is fine. So what are you supposed to do with that information? You don't necessarily know you need additional screening.
And by the way, insurance doesn't necessarily pay for that additional ultrasound
So two
screening.
issues, First, with the notification, Savannah. So the FDA said the language needs to change. All states need to require notification with much more specificity about what you're supposed to do with that information. And then you're right, only 14 states in the district require insurance to pay some or all of breast ultrasound screening for women with dense breasts. And often the reimbursement is very small.
Such important information. NBC News correspondent Kristen Dahlgren, my friend and colleague, joining us now. Kristen, Katie was pointing out something that most women do not know, that routine mammograms will not, for 45% of American women will not necessarily identify the breast cancer because of this situation of dense breasts, something you cannot know without a mammogram. And so then you need more treatment, or rather more screening. And you need something that may not be covered by insurance. So there are so many women who are underserved already and don't have access to these screenings.
Right. And, I really applaud Katie for speaking up on this issue and using her platform, because it feels like maybe this is a moment where those changes can happen. We talk so much about a cancer moonshot. Well, 90% of breast cancers early on are curable. So there's your moonshot right now. Get the screening, make it easy and make it affordable. I found out what dense breasts were when I was diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer. And, you were one of my first calls when I found out that it was really likely that I had cancer. So there's this club of women who are speaking out and willing to share their stories about how their cancers were missed on mammograms. And Andrew, here's how flawed the system was. I had a mammogram in April of 2019. I was told, come back, we see maybe something, we think you moved. So I went back. I had another mammogram. They said, oh, all clear, go on your way. 5 months later, I felt something. I could feel the tumor. It had grown so much. And I can't help but always think about those 5 months. And what if someone had said, you have dense breasts, we really should be doing an ultrasound or an MRI and not just counting on a mammogram, because it's that snowball in a snowstorm scenario. They can't see breast cancer when you have dense breasts. And so, the system is flawing so many women, is flawed and really failing so many women. And so it is this issue where it's up to women now to be asking their doctors, do I have dense breasts? Do I need additional screening? And then hopefully, the laws will catch up and this will be covered by insurance, because the cost of fighting advanced breast cancer, Andrea, as you know, is so much more than an ultrasound or an MRI would be for screening.
And Kristen, I mean, you I mean, when we talked early on, you had a little girl at home. You were covering a hurricane in the Outer Banks. So you got back, but you've been so out front. You've tracked your entire journey on NBC Nightly News and the Today Show, which has reached so many people, and you're still doing that. So I know we brought you in on a day when this was so important, and we're going to be doing this all month. So please come back and talk to us about your journey as well.
Absolutely. I don't want anyone else to go through this. And so, that's why it's so important to speak up and really let women know what's available and what questions they should be asking. So thank you for the time, Andrea.
Well, thanks to you and to Katie Couric, our friend, for being so public. And that's why I was public about my breast cancer 11 years ago. You need screening, but now we're learning you need more screening than we thought for decades and decades. And it's critically important. Early detection is the key to survival. Thank you, Kristen. You look great.